guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. I have read a book from this author before and it's called Laura, and we got it in a folio box. So this is obviously from a folio as well, which I just received. This is April's, well, not just I received, it was April's box, so when I'm filming this, it's beginning of May. So this book was really amazing. I did actually enjoy the book as well. So we have an offer letter and the author card. So we have the end pages of here. Nope. Oh, this girl was very snarky. Just saying. Look at those sprayed edges. Central edges, I say. That's sprayed. Then we have our artwork on the hardback, which I actually really love. Right, put that back in with that. Tasman Lark is a hollower, breaking into the ancient crypts of a dark sorceress in search of the treasures inside. Now rumours are spun about a powerful ring from the Arthur Ring legend, a ring that could free her brother, Cable, from a curse, but they aren't the only ones who covered it. As word spread, greedy hollowers start circling, and many would kill to have the ring from themselves. Tasman is forced into an alliance with a rival Emerald, the last person she wants to rely on. Together they dive headfirst into a vibrant nest of dark magic and expose a deadly secret with the power to awaken ghosts of the past and shatter their last hope of saving her brother. I was like, hell yeah. One of my books I'm just looking forward to reading as well. Happy, thank you. Yeah, now, so, here I am getting sucked in the hand of the cover, right? I am a sucker for this kind of book. This was so interesting. And having, like, I guess I can give this to my past, just like cashing it in the chains. But let's get into the review, right? When devoid of any magic herself, Tasman has grown into the world of hollowers. Those ventures seek out raid the highly warded crypts of her ancient sorceress. But when she and her brother was abandoned by the hollower who raised them, she had to fall alive herself. However she can. Well, past by participating in a dangerous world. Seek out and raids. Wait, what else I do? However she can, and why in a dangerous world that she can only half understand what to be more than most would be choose. Tasman had another goal, saving a brother who was struggling with an even more deliberated curse. So when she gets wind of an incredible rare relic that could answer her brother's curse, Tasman will do anything to claim it for herself. Even go so far to team up with a boy who can be a rival for as long as she can remember. First of all, I want to note how surprised I was to find this was a contemporary fantasy YA story. I mean, I guess there was no clear indication of one way or another, but the cover image sure does say second world fantasy to me. Kind of, you know. I think it was a different cover when I first saw it. So the other modern teen isn't walking around this with a delicate silver hand bracelet like that, that's for sure. So I was very taken back to start off this novel and be immediately confronted with cell phones, cars, and like, what's going on? So the book kind of had me on the other side. But, of course, leads over to a fantasy over contemporary story. So on one hand, I'm glad this book essentially forced my hand into something I wouldn't typically read. So this book is absolutely brilliant with new ideas and magic concepts, many of which I thought were very original and intriguing. However, the sheer numbers of fantasy elements also began to overlap one another in the way that I think began to confuse the issue. I was never quite clear of the history of the sorcerers or some of the basic details about how the crypts were set up, all that crap. I think it was meant to be such a combination of something like the Tomb Raiders of Egyptian burial sites and the Arthurian legends. But as I read, I became more and more distracted by some of the details. Just how many of these sorcerers were there? How did they manage to create these elaborate curse-riddled hiding places before their deaths? How is there such a thrilling presence in the radar of these places? And on top of these questions, there are so many curses themselves, the magical items, the potions, the portals. It's just a lot. And I was like, oh my god, So, while there was never a lack of ideas, I do think the story could have used a good polish. A few ideas that had more deliberate and fleshed out would be preferred to overwhelming number of ideas. I did like Tasman as a character as well, especially in the first part of the book. Thought her history and her relationship with her brother and it coupled with love together that she had built them with an interest and full of nuance. No, she's clearly not a perfect character. She's trying to hold together her small family through sheer force of some will. Sometimes to explain it's just that it's clear she doesn't fully understand those that she loves most. I also really like the idea that she operated in a magical world that she, being non-magical herself, couldn't fully see or experience. Unfortunately, the book chose to solve this problem for her very early on. So I thought this was a big turning point to an exit for me, but I'm not here. However, I did enjoy reading this book myself, and while I had questions about fantasy elements and was disappointed with the character turn for Tasman, I thought the pace and plotting was very solid. It was fun, fast read, and I thought it was appealed to a lot of fantasy, YA fantasy people. So I did really enjoy this book, even though I really had questions about the book. Like, I really was looking forward to it, see how it could go through. Reading it, I was like, okay, interesting. But even read the book, I still like the book. Okay? Yes, you're wondering, why, blah, blah, blah. I'll explain more in another video. But I hope you guys enjoy, and sorry I had to do this really quickly, and sorry I was talking really quickly, but I have to head to work. Peace, bye.